Good morning, everybody. I hope you're doing really good. You are going to get a a real life morning of mine this morning because there is a lot going on this morning and you get to be part of it. So let's get started. I'm gonna take a drink of this coffee real quick because I am looking at the way I poured it and I'm kind of assuming I made it too vanilla-y. So let me take a taste and let's see what's going on. Good morning, Jennifer. Good morning, Mary. And I'm going to tell my morning story because it is what has helped me decide a little bit what we're going to talk about today, besides your concerns, of course. So let me check this real quick. Yep, as I suspected, too much creamer. Let's put some more coffee in it. A little too much. All right, I'm going to go outside, my favorite place to be. And in about 6 minutes, we're going to come back in. Good morning. I think it's Jenny. I'm pretty sure that when we talked last time, so you're going to go outside with me. We're going to talk a little while. And I've got to come in, good morning, Emily, and check the cinnamon rolls. That's what's for breakfast. All right, so, and I also found a really pretty decent, let me get it, sorry, I don't make anybody nauseous this morning. I am not sponsored by this product or anything like that. But I found this morning by the brand that makes, yogurt. This Pro Fuel Vanilla. It's just a kind of a yogurt drink, basically, with a little protein in it. And I got it because when I very rarely crave smoothie things, it's very rare that I do, but when I do, I try something new, and this one's pretty good. It's not too sweet, but it's not too, proteiny shake tasting either. I'll try to get this camera out of my face. There we go. All right, now we can sit for a few minutes and be together. So the reason I got so much going on this morning is my sweet one woke me up. She woke me up about, 6:30. I was already awake about 6, but she woke me up at 6:30, hopped in bed with me, and said, Mommy, I really, 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 really want cinnamon rolls. I'm like, well, we don't have any. So what are we gonna do? She's like, I don't know, but I really want cinnamon rolls. I'm like, well, I laid there for a second and I wasn't quite ready to get up, but this is going to be our theme today, is what we belong to. So as soon as I took a pause, I'm like, okay, I want to take in every bit of goodness of life that there is, especially right now, is that we got our behinds out of bed, got dressed, brushed our teeth, and went to the store. And I had to get a few things anyway today, but I was just going to do it later. But I decided, let's go get what we need now. So at 7 a.m., we were at the store getting cinnamon rolls, and we needed some chips and some toothpaste, and not a ton of things, but a few things. Got masked up and went. And why that's important is because, I want her to have experiences of, we can't have what we want all the time. That's just part of life too, right? We can't have maybe every food we want the minute we want it. But, I have the ability to get that for her. So why wouldn't I? Why would I give her, the thought with something small like that I could give her the time, the attention, and something small that she wanted. Why can't I be attuned to that? And the reason that's important to me is because I want her to remember, and I want to, when you live it myself, that what do we want to belong to? Because oftentimes we worry so much. And this has happened from our own experiences. This is where this forms. But we feel like that, we're too sensitive, we're too much, we need too much, we're too big. And we start to feel like that we don't belong. And then we attach to diet culture as a place to belong because it has pretty strict standard rules, right? Like if you get smaller, you'll get appreciation, attention. How did you do it? You'll get all that. But we never consider once we're there, well, what are we belonging to now? And what's next? And so when I say, what do we belong to? Or who do you want to belong to? If you want thinness, okay, so you get it and you'll belong, but who are you belonging to? And the truth is, when we pursue purposeful weight loss to get love, adoration, even safety, if you feel like I'll get more safety, you don't belong to yourself anymore. You belong to the whims of what other people are going to say about you at any given time. So For everybody who's coming live, I'm wondering what your feelings and thoughts are about that. Like, who do you belong to when we purposely try to get smaller to belong to some other system? So Emily's saying amen. I'm ready for another value system. Sounds like you focus on the timing in your relationship today. Yeah, I did, and that's what that's why I wanted to hop on as soon as I can, even though, you know, it was gonna rush me to get to here. I haven't had breakfast yet. You're gonna watch me like ice cinnamon rolls this morning and do that whole thing and do it with you. It's because, that's Chuck down there coughing, we're gonna belong to him too. We're gonna let him in our story time today, because he belongs even with 15 years and no teeth, and he smells, and he's got a lot of health issues. He so belongs. He's been part of these videos since I've been doing them, you know, all these years. So he's right here with us too. Is that we want to focus on the relationships. And oftentimes people say, well, I don't have anybody safe. Well, it's like, well, let's start working on them relatively safe enough. And that starts with us. That starts with you. Are you safe to yourself? You know, are we recapitulating, withholding, abandonment, neglect when we, you know, deny our food needs, when we know that we're really sad and mad, and we kind of actually even know what might help us, but another part of us is like, well, screw that, I'm just not going to eat, or screw this, I'm just going to eat everything and even hurt myself. And I don't think we're often doing that, but that happens on occasion too. So, oh gosh, Mary, I'm so glad to do this. Honestly, I really look forward to these Saturday mornings, and when I don't do it, it's just because it's not logistically going to happen. But yeah, I actually really enjoy it, and I feel like when I see you on Saturdays, there's a level of transparency you all come with as well that I think is really nourishing for us all. So, you know my story. I've got to watch the time, and I don't even know what time it is, but I'll check on it here in a second. Is that I got to make sure the cinnamon rolls don't burn for the little. And yeah. So tell me all about you this morning. How was your week? And where are you noticing you feel more or less belonging around your food, your body, your movement, your self-care? All I'm going to talk to you about, I'm feeling pretty energetic this morning, and I'm pretty happy about that. It's not always the case, right? So we are going to do some extra cooking this weekend. I actually need to clean, like Corona has not made my house cleaner. So I'm like, it's time to do some deep scrub in a few places. So that's going to happen too, but a little bit later. But so Jenny, I think the struggle with belonging among friends who share my interest in movement, who are still focused on appearance. Yes. So that's why I want to talk about orienting toward the good. Is that, like, I have friends, I have family that are still very much in diet culture, and I really have to, again, that's the whole thing of belonging to yourself. Can you belong to yourself? Can you inhabit yourself enough to where it's like, I can share in the goodness of what we share in life, and have a boundary with the other stuff that that's not my values, that's not what I'm aligned with. And because the truth is, like, I don't know if we're all going to agree on everything all the time, but we don't want to not be with anybody either, right? And I think it's having a boundary, and I talk about this every day, all day long in sessions around, like, you know, there are good people in our lives that make it difficult, and we have to have boundaries around many things, if not a lot of things, especially with food and diet. But it's not, we don't want to see them again, you know, or talk to them again. And so it's learning the boundaries. So Jenny, I hope that helps you a little bit of, you know, understanding that you probably, unless it's just too toxic. And you know the difference between, you know, they can let it go and they can respect my boundaries and I can be with them, versus they just can't stop. And when I say no, they just keep pushing at me anyway, and it just makes me feel really unheard. And so you have to let it go. You know, you might have to, like, distance yourself. So everything's nuanced, and I think it's important to, the most we can, not throw the baby out with the bathwater in our close relationships, unless they're just, we've outgrown them, or it's just not healthy. So Emily, you said you have a heavy mind for a couple days, and oh, well, thank you. Yeah, I really, we have to focus on what orient towards the good, because especially if you've got any kind of past, basically you've got PTSD, any trauma of any kind, our survival systems get overwired to look for a threat and see sometimes things that aren't a threat as a threat. And so we do have to retrain ourselves to orient towards the good. So the good of my daughter jumping in bed at 6:30 in the morning and wanting cinnamon rolls and like nothing else sounds good. And to her credit, mommy wasn't the mommy of the year this week with like interesting breakfast. It was pretty same old, you know. And so I felt like, you know, yeah, she's put up with like less than super her favorite things this week, or at least things that she'd like most of the time for breakfast. So I could do this for her, no problem. Yeah, so I was glad to do it, and I appreciate that. Yeah, we got to focus on what we do have and what is good. Really have to focus on what we do have and what is good. And that's not being Pollyanna saying that we don't do our work. I am always, you know, anybody knows me well, they know that like, you know, my own personal, you know, growth work and trauma work, there's like been hundreds of sessions that I've known it's like, let's do this. This is gonna really suck, and let's go there. And I'm gonna be real uncomfortable, and let's go, because I don't want anything from the past to be dragging me back. I don't want to be in the future thinking about what might go wrong, you know, or what I feel like is gonna be the worst thing ever. It's like, is that true? You know, I care about truth. Pretty much, you know, I've got certain really specific relationships in my life that come before anything, but something that I really deeply care about is truth. You know, and so I'm willing to be uncomfortable for it. And so I hope that inspires you too, that like it's the feelings and the sensations will not kill us. Sometimes our belief systems and behaviors will. And so we have to really look clearly at like, well, what's the truth? Is it fear of discomfort? Is it like, yeah, it's gonna really suck to not try to lose weight in a fat-phobic culture. Totally sucks, and it's not your fault, and you can belong to yourself. So on that note, come in with me and let's go check if the cinnamon rolls are ready, because I think I smell them and I definitely don't want them to burn. So let's go together. Hold on. And if you need to get something, more food, more water, more coffee, whatever, go get it. Okay, so Emily, you're saying I want to keep going when I have that healing momentum with my professionals. It's hard to have the days in between sessions. That's when my mind has the most weight. Well, what do you have in between sessions? I know a lot of my clients, I have them doing sometimes homework, but really specifically like lots of somatic orienting, grounding, sometimes journaling, sometimes just making sure that you're staying connected with people that are healthy. I mean, all kinds of things. So my kitchen, when I look at this, y'all, it's messy, because I'm going to be doing some, I'm going to make some blueberry muffins, I think, and I think I might make my husband a rhubarb pie. He's been really wanting that, and then I think I'll make lasagna this weekend too. So I've got everything out, thawing and getting ready and all that good stuff. So let's check out. Yep, we got it. Cinnamon rolls. They're ready. Oh, good. Just in time, I guessed right. I'm so lucky. I've burnt these so many times. My poor kid. Or close to burning them. So let's get the frosting. You didn't know I did a cooking show, huh? That would be fun, wouldn't it? Would you guys like to see me professionally cook? That'd be funny. My dish rack. Yeah. You see my duster over there that I have at the generic pledge I haven't used in who knows how long. All right. So Emily, tell me a little bit more about like what you think would help you in between sessions. I think that's something. What do you need? All right, and thank you everybody who's watching live. I haven't named you, but I'm going to do that right now. So Jenny and Mary, Kimberly, Emily, I think maybe Jaya or Gia. I don't pronounce your name wrong. I'm sorry. Shelly, and who else is here? I see Chris and Anna, Jennifer P. Yep, I think I got everybody. All right, so Mary's saying I'm trying not to demonize the fact that I want to eat more food often because life isn't great now. I know. Is eating more the worst thing ever, Mary? Like, you know, I get candy a little extra once in a while right now, or whatever, you know? It's more about can I eat that in peace? Can I give myself some space around that to eat, knowing that if I'm sad, I'm gonna sit here, I'm gonna acknowledge my sadness, and I'm not gonna abandon myself. Yeah. Well, your choices doesn't have to be okay, Mary. Oh. Let me get a knife. Sorry. Keep moving on, y'all. I guess you could choose for it to not to be okay, but that would cause more suffering, right, Mary? So instead, what it would be like, yeah, I'm eating more candy, or I'm eating more whatever, and it might change my weight. And then what? Or it could be, you know, agonizing and making yourself feel more miserable. You know, and I know that sounds like sobering, kind of bummish advice, but it's like, I think there's a level of like, it is, you know, it is what it is, that's what's happening right now. And until I feel like I have enough, more of what I need, and maybe that's something to think about, is like, maybe this is just another reminder of like, hey, tap, tap, Mary, we need more. And food is kind of helping it. Maybe we need something else. And the something else we really want, maybe it is accessible. We're just not quite naming it, or maybe we don't know how to take it in, or maybe it's something new that we've never had before. So I'm happy to help you brainstorm about that if you're thinking about it. So Emily said, I have to ask for homework, but I haven't gotten any. Okay. I think being able to put names or emotions. Practice. You know, it doesn't have to be like, oh, I know I'm sad. Name the sensations of it. Feels heavy-minded. Those are things, and just write about that. It doesn't have to be it can be on a notebook paper. Notice what that's like around your meal times, if that's more or less the case, and get acquainted with your experience. So I know you're saying, Mary, that I'm scheduling walks with your friends. Yeah. Okay, it's the isolation. So a lot of times we eat, y'all, because we want to feel something there for us. Food is there. Like literally, cinnamon rolls are right here, right now. They're there for me. If there was nothing else in this whole wide world, I might eat to feel something, or to feel something different, or to shift my state. That's all I'm trying to do. It might impact my weight, sure, but it's not the worst thing that's going to happen to me, I think. Are you ready for cinnamon rolls? Anyway, it's not the worst thing that will happen. But I think that we can still, like you're doing, Mary, like reach out for, I need to do some walks, I need to do some things besides what it is that I'm doing or not doing for myself. Oh, Emily, as for your house, no judgments. Oh no, Emily, I'm not a clean freak at all. In fact, like, you know, I could stand to have a little bit more of a routine about it. But yeah, I'm not worried about actually anybody judging my cluttery house right now. That's all good. It's gonna be a long summer, that's right. Hey Bev, good morning. All right, so I'm going to give my little one here, get her cinnamon rolls, and we'll go back outside. I know you're not little, you're very mature, right?
I am just 9.
You're 9, okay. That's true.
Turned 9 2 months ago.
I know. So tell me, you guys, what else is going on in your week? So Mary, I'm sorry to hear that, like, I think that's normal in this period of like isolation. We are social creatures, not meant to be. We're not really meant to be so isolated. We're social. And I think maybe acknowledging of that is the homework, and then the thing that we try to do something about, which you're doing, which is great. All right. I would love to hear how everybody else's week is going. I've heard from Mary and Emily. So going back to belonging, who do you know? Like how many of you can name at least one person that you feel 100% comfortable in eating with? It's a good question, right? When I first started recovery, pretty much the only person I felt really comfortable eating with was, I think, my sister. And then that grew more to my other, my family, and then, slowly as I made myself, essentially. As I made myself get out and do more with people. And one of the best things I ever did for myself, honestly, was eat out on purpose, as not as much as I could afford, but at least once a week, to where it's like I learned how to eat. I learned how to eat a variety of foods that I didn't know the labels and stuff to. Yes, you can have another one, and you can want milk? Yes. Okay, cool. Let's get some milk now. All right. Yeah, so tell me who you feel comfortable with. And hi, let's see here. Laura. See Laura Hope here. So the heat doesn't make you want to eat, but you need food. Well, then maybe we pick food. Maybe we pick food that is less hot, more refreshing, more crunchy, more sweet, more wet. Maybe that would be helpful. Well, that's really great, Emily. Your middle son, so he's a normal eater, and he likes to eat everything. That's really fun. So what are you learning from him, Emily? Where's the lid, Jordan? I lost the lid to the milk already. Oh, I already put it on. All right. All right. Who else? Who else eats with people? Jordan, you gonna be okay?
Yeah.
All right.
I'll put it here.
All right. So typically I like to eat with my kid, the whole co-regulation, Ellen Satter, eat with your kids, so they learn how to eat. But she's been eating with us. Eating with, eats everything mom and dad, so we're all right. I think she'll be okay with a meal without me. But, so Jennifer's saying your children feel cold comfort with them. Great. That's another source, y'all, I think that we overestimate, is that if you have children. If you don't have children, I actually recommend that you go on YouTube and find some videos of children eating and eat with them. I think that would be a very nourishing idea. That's something I have a lot of my clients who do struggle with, like, cooking and eating by themselves, is to watch other people do it and do it with them. All right. So Mary, you eat normally with your husband. Now, does that mean that you feel comfortable eating with your husband? Because that's the question I had. Does everyone here have someone they feel comfortable eating with? And can you orient to the goodness of that? And if you don't have someone, I want you to go online and find someone that loves to eat. I know, Mary, I am the last one that they're able to. Every day. Every single day. My husband eats really fast. My daughter's kind of medium-ish. And honestly, I'm not really a slow eater. I'm kind of medium-ish eater too, but I'm always, I'm the one getting the ketchup of the Parmesan cheese that I forgot, or, so I'm not always there. And this is like the mom's dilemma, definitely, for maybe a lot of you can relate to that. And I talk to a lot of my clients who are moms about it. So yeah, it's great. At least, my husband too is a normal eater. And so I cherish that. That's not something you got to worry about. Now, a lot of you listening to this maybe don't have that luxury or that privilege, and that's why I'm asking you to try to get at least a meal a day where you eat with someone that you find online, a friend. If you have to find somebody on YouTube, you come down Saturday mornings and have your breakfast with me, but find somebody that you know is a normal eater online, in real life, and do that at least once a day. I think that would be really important. So Jennifer is saying, I often think what I would say to my daughters about this thought, if it was theirs, it helps me tune into the truth. Yes, that's the truth. You would never talk to yourself the way, even like someone you don't like, or like this is not your thing, or, hopefully nobody has any enemies here, but it's like, I know in my own recovery, like I would never wish eating disorders or current dieting or overexercise or binging on my worst enemy if I had one. It's just not something that I would do. So Emily's saying you can't eat everyone in your family, that it's either pickiness or noise. Okay. Your 8-year-old's amazing to see his appreciation. That's your homework, Emily, is eat with your 8-year-old every day at least once, and really tune in, really try to regulate and co-regulate with his appreciation. And he doesn't settle for less. Like my kiddo, no, if the textures, if the broccoli texture isn't the way, no, and get me wrong, I mean, there's a line, you know, between like being very demanding versus like, you know what you like? Yeah. And he doesn't settle for less. Like I roasted some veggies on the fire. He came back with protein and starches, not because he thinks of the food, just because he just ate what he wanted to. Yeah. And, you know, I'm fortunate to have this kiddo that like, and she tends to have her trends of like mostly carbs and fats in the first half of the day. In the evening, it's a little bit more varied, and that's just what her body obviously needs. So. Well, so Jennifer, that's where context of your truth comes in, right? You would never tell your kiddo to like, you know, you wouldn't kind of try to overmanage their food too much, because if they're eating normally, their bodies are managing things. If we're in a position where we need like gentle containment, which AKA that means normal meals and snacks and not skipping, to reteach yourself, you know, food, like normal food regulation like kids, yeah, you can't skip. And you can't tell yourself something's too much, because you're still working on learning, again, belonging and inhabiting to yourself as a normal eater. So very good point. I appreciate you saying that. So very cool. Well, thank you all so much. I would love to hear about your experiments. If you take anything to heart today and you try some things of going to get the thing you really want, whether it's more connection to like soothe some loneliness, or a food you really want and you have access to get it. I really would love to hear about all your experiments of like, I am going to find someone to eat with today and see what that feels like, and orient to that good. And yeah, really, really pay attention to where there is goodness around you that would help you with your relationship with food and weight. So thank you all so much for being here. I really appreciate you. And if you have any questions, have any topics you want to talk about, I'm really feeling very strongly called to talk more about belonging in general for different topics. So we'll see how that shakes out this week. But you have something more pressing, I can put that on the back burner and address what it is that you need and want. So, hi, Sue, I'm getting ready to hop off, but please watch the whole thing, okay? You get to see my messy house if that's something you're interested in, and my cinnamon rolls. So, anyway, I'm gonna go have some cinnamon rolls with Jordan, and we are gonna have a good day, and I hope you do too. Take care and bye for now.